There's always a part of us that wants to feel loved, accepted, seen, wise, whatever it may be, worthy, acknowledged. And these parts of us that want to be sort of seen are actually just a symptom of our own closure of allowing ourselves to see ourselves. So in other words, we are already seen. We are already acknowledged. We just haven't paid attention to that part of us that is seeing. To that part of us that is already complete. Because it's subtle. And it's not a peak experience. Because at the root of our root, we're never truly cut off from the source of love, from the source of our creation, from the source of our, let's say, unity and essence and peace. But as a separate self, we are. And that separateness is this closure or this tension between this concept of me and I relative to the infinite flow that is behind all of this so-called separateness. And as we move into a world that is growing increasingly distracted, dispersed, lost in fear and desire, we further exacerbate this I, me, my separateness. Right? And we feel it too. More isolation, more connection, but more disconnection. It's weird. And some of us are yearning to retreat, some of us are yearning to connect, but there's this strange texture that everything is taking. As we start to solve more problems with technology, more problems seem to arise. And this culture of enshrining the self through artificial light, pixels, in a visual representation through a systematized grid that is designed to hack our neurochemistry definitely is not helping this situation that we're in. And so as we want to not only experience love and unity and all these beautiful, powerful, amazing things, be so rooted into our purpose and potency, we also have to acknowledge within our lives where we are shutting ourselves off from our own source of all of that. Every thought, every feeling, every action that is creating more separation, more me-ing, so to speak. This is when you are cutting yourself off from the source. And everything we do becomes either this subtle closing or opening. Either an accepting or a refusing. So as we go deeper into these practices, we start to tap into our own inner truth. And we compare this truth with what's being told to us through the narrative of the world in many different narratives. But what's exhausting is when the narrative is around a fixed identity or fixed way, or an I, me, my, and it's usually a representation of pain, right? Whereas we meet these saint-like beings that usually don't have a self. They're just so compassionate and so present, tapped in, and it's so far removed. It's almost like embodiments of light. But then we meet the dark densities, right? And the two need to coexist in this world. It's almost like a contrast where we appreciate both, but we also get to see both within ourselves. What if love was actually a form of unseen light that could only be experienced through the absence of love? And what if the absence of love was just a concept in the mind, and there was no real such thing as the absence of love, just different shades or fractals of love, expressed in various different forms through pain, suffering, ego, non-ego, whatever it may be. Everything in existence an expression of this, call it a theophany of love, reminding itself of itself through various different shapes, forms, textures, and expressions, some beautiful and some ugly, some contracting and some expanding. And our faculty of perception, the human heart, is deepened as we widen our ability to witness it all with compassion, with this underpinning, loving understanding. And that's probably the hardest thing that we as human beings can do. But we have saints, sages, and prophets, and many different messengers who all embodied their specific way of being a beacon of infinite wisdom and compassion and mercy for the short time. And these infinite wisdom traditions, ancient traditions that were tapped into something beyond what we can measure now with all of our science. And so bringing this back home to the breath. Try and hold your breath for as long as you can, but not holding a breath in, but holding an exhale out. Feel what it feels like to be empty. And as you have that life force yearning for air, before you take that big inhale, appreciate it, see it, experience it. What is it? And then thank it for reminding you to breathe. That force, that experience, that is something deep within you. It doesn't require a story, doesn't even require a label, but is an invitation for you to deepen and begin the conversation with your essence. And so as you move with these practices of the breath and the heart, you begin to discover deeper faculties of your being. And you start to see the entire cosmos unfolding within you. And so then the practice becomes, how do we breathe into other cosmos and others' experiences while still maintaining our own connection to our own. I would say that the body has a wisdom that once we truly tap into, speaks for itself without thinking, performing, or doing. It's truly your heart's wisdom. And the practice becomes giving it permission and the right circumstance to just speak its own truth. But it can't necessarily do that on its own. It needs a impetus or some type of spark to light the flame. And oxygen to fan the flame such that it becomes brighter and brighter and speaks truer and truer. Because truth, in essence, is a form of light. Knowledge is a form of light. It's not information, it's light. A type of unseen light of consciousness, you can say, that is shared, that's always behind it all, underneath it all. And it's always easier to know than to feel, but it's easier to feel than it is to usually live. And so embodiment, living your truth, moves from speaking it to writing about it, to thinking about it, to feeling it with great, great sensitivity. But then you must be transformed from the body. Your actions, your intentions, your will, it has to be felt, not through the feeling of emotion, but through the experience of the body. And so, how do we become embodied, living presences? I would say by washing the dishes with pure presence and sweeping the floor as if you are a painter painting a masterpiece, and painting a painting as if you are sweeping a floor. This is called living your truth, engaging with life fully, doing your work with full devotion, dedication, and discipline, and allowing your work to work on you, let's say more than you work on it, day by day, practicing, unfolding, feeling, knowing, and allowing your heart to radiate outwards, opening to each horizon, to each heart, to each soul, and just being this beautiful reminder that we're all just walking each other home.